Sippers, welcome to episode 257 of the Tea With Me podcast with me, Shane Todd. I gotta tell you, our Patreon is absolutely popping at the minute. We got our live stream episodes every Friday. We've got a bonus episode on a Monday. Mysteries goes out on Patreon exclusively before it goes anywhere else. There's specials coming out of our bottoms. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? There's Stars in Your Eyes. There's everything.
Mock blame?
Mock blame's on there. Everything is there. And it stays there. And it's only for sippers that are on Patreon. Patreon.com/TeamMePodcast.
If people aren't sure if they want to sign up, you can follow the Patreon now for free. So you can just see a little bit of what we do.
If you like to walk down the Patreon red light district and peer into the glass, you can do that. But if you want to come in and get some flesh, you pay for that. £3 a month, and that's nothing. Starts off £3 a month. You become an executive producer for £10 a month. And you can put that in your CV and stuff.
£6 a month.
£6 a month? God. That's nearly half of what I said.
Close.
You can put that on your CV for jobs. Yeah. I'm an executive producer of the Tea With Me podcast. That's nuts. If you want to come see me live, ShaneTalkComedy.com, SSA Arena, 9th of November for now. And I've got shows in Copenhagen, Amsterdam and Stockholm. Oslo, yep. Not Stockholm. Copenhagen, Oslo and Amsterdam. It's not sound well. We are sponsored by none other than Manscaped. And someone pulled me up on that recently and said, man, every time you say you're sponsored by Manscaped, you say none other than, but you never say it for the other sponsor.
That's a lie. You've said none other than NordVPN.
Oh, right, okay, because it's in my head rent free. We're sponsored by none other than Manscaped. These guys have been with us since near the very start. And that's what your pubic region will do if you're a Manscaped user. It'll stay consistent, you know. Since Manscaped have been in my life, things are great down there. Things are really, really good, because I keep up to date with my Manscaped grooming routine. They've got products for everything, and you don't have to be, 19 like me to be using this stuff. You could start your Manscaped journey at the age of 82. One of our guests today told us off air he's just started becoming a Manscaped user, Irwin.
And he looks 82?
Yeah, but not his pubes.
No.
70. Weird. Manscaped have it all. It'll change your life. It'll change the way people look at, change the way your partner looks at you, or prospective partners.
Perfect time of year. Spring cleaning for your
penis and balls. Go to manscaped.com, use the code TEAWITHME for 20% off and free shipping. The link's in the description. Without further ado, why don't we get into this episode? This is, if you hate silly stuff, don't watch. It is three giddy guys just having a lot of fun. We talk about, amongst other things, John Russia. I know you've been waiting for that episode to drop for a while. Where is he from? Let's find out. What else were we talking about?
The pyramids.
Yep, we finally figured that mystery out. Not mystery, that's a different podcast. But we talked about, and I believe in aliens now. What are you doing over there? So yeah, you can enjoy this episode of the Tea With Me podcast with my guests, top stand-up comedians. Alan Irwin making his Tea With Me main episode debut, but he's been on a few lives, and Alan is just great, and I'm glad he's doing a lot more stand-up now. He's fantastic, and returning favourite Dave Elliott. Please enjoy episode 257 of the Tea With Me podcast. None other than the Tea With Me podcast. What? You walk a dog at like 5:30 or something?
Yes.
In the morning?
It's the only time I can clear my
What are you,
head.
a sex tourist? What are you doing?
No, you know what? What is it they
Is
say?
that when they go dogging at 5:30 in the
What
morning?
is it they
Fucking
say?
banger?
The early bird gets the sausage, and that's me.
Jesus Christ, are you operating on Melbourne time? What's going on?
No, I'm inspired by people like Tom Smith.
The only people who do that will find a dead body. It's inevitable. And
there's so much risk. If you're walking at 5:30, you'll be the first guy to find things from the night before.
Think about the admin of that.
Yeah.
If you find a dead body, it's not like you go, it's me. There's a body here, and you just head into the house.
Then
and leave
use
it.
Johnny's.
I would just say, You know what I find?
Hold on, Al. You did that like someone's mentioned like a lovely fillet of beef or something. You were like, oh, you John, oh, don't tempt me.
I'm imagining it as mine, but that's not realistic.
Alan, you find them and take them like a shot.
Yeah, like a froob.
Actually, I like them on fire. Before I fucking love frooms. You know, that is the most shameful thing about me is that I only enjoy my petit filou in tube form.
Dude, you remember that time at Nando's? Someone pointed out the way you were eating mashed potato was so wholesome, and then we all just stared at you eating mashed
No,
potato.
I don't want to eat mashed potato.
You just like in a real like provocative way, without no like low key provocative.
Exactly.
Like,
It's because I flatten it out on top of the fork and then take it off with my tongue.
yeah, and takes his trousers and pants off.
I'm naked from the waist down, you know. But,
Do you
Yeah,
eat
you
anything
just-
else or just mash like that?
but actually at Nando's I get double mash. I love the mash.
That's what I'm gonna call you from now on. Double mash.
Big
Um,
DM Irwin.
I think it would fuck me up so bad finding a dead body.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's some people could see it and then just go about their day.
You know what I would do? If I would sometimes be out so early in the morning, I would catch the murder happening. I'd be like, it's not nothing.
Just you.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you're doing something worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like the cop who's like, I don't want this paperwork.
Yeah.
No,
You know?
and because I wear a dry robe now and I'm totally against that, that's why I go out so early. People can't see me wearing a dry
You wear a
robe.
dry
Do you go out in
Yeah.
a dry robe first thing in the morning?
It's a football coat, but it's a
Oh,
dry robe.
like Wenger.
It's
It's
no,
a football coat.
No.
Catherine's told you that to make you feel. It's a
no.
football
It
coat.
says-
It's a fucking dressing
It
gown.
says the Gunners on it, and it says the Arsenal logo, but it's
That-
it's a dry. It's a
That's
dry
like the
robe.
time my mum wanted me to wear this jumper I got for my birthday from Next when I was about 6 or 7, and I hated it because it looked shit. And she told me Liam Gallagher designed it, and years later I found out he didn't. I thought I was so cool
You were
then.
about 28 and you went, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was.
Do you remember the first time you got into fashion? Like I remember, I got really into like. Have you ever heard a guy? I think he's called Rasha, John Rasha.
Yeah.
He's a Native American guy.
What?
he was in
Russia, John.
I think he
Russia.
was it Debenhams or M&S?
Yeah, one of
He had a
those
wee
ones. But he was
he had a wee
he's a-
deal with.
But he's a Native American dude, and like on every piece of his clothing, you got a wee picture of him just sitting like this. And I was going around school being like, "It's a new piece from
is so niche.
RJR."
I had a Russia John Russia t-shirt.
Wait, he's a Native American guy, but his face is on the.
No, but
No,
just-
you got a picture of him or something.
Yeah,
with
because like a portrait,
Like a wee
of-
card?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like, but it was attached to the garments, like to say this dude designed it.
He was the Native American James Bond, Russia John Russia.
What? But I was going around talking about like he was flipping. I know.
Yeah, no one just said John Russia.
No, this
Russia
Russia
John
You said you would be as a
Let's get him
child.
like he was like Calvin Klein or somebody. No other.
But you wouldn't
children
say
knew who he
Klein,
was.
Calvin Klein. Why were we giving him such
boss, you're the
respect?
boss. Yeah, it doesn't really work.
We're
Russia
announcing
John
him like a
Russia?
vintage boxing announcer. You know.
Can we find out, is Russia John Russia still going?
Can I just say, John Russia is a Chinese-Irish designer born
Oh,
in
for
Hong Kong.
fuck's sake!
Why is he
Native
culturally
American.
appropriating the Native Americans? What's he
Hold on. What John Wayne film has fucking Russia, John Russia? Sitting Bull and Russia, John Russia.
Everyone must think the Russia John Russia is Native American. Because you said it and I said it.
No, but I mean, you can be any less Native American than being Chinese Irish. Is Russia Chinese? And
I
John's-
think is it fair to say that any, and this is maybe controversial, any guy who isn't fully black or white that has long black hair, in our heads, you're Native American.
Yeah, I think so.
Russia John Russia, also it's the least Native American name ever. Why do we think that's Native American?
That's
What do we call
unbelievable.
like Fat Hawk or something?
Fat Hawk. That's why I call him a dick.
Hawk, Fat Hawk. What would your Native American name be?
My Native American
Sitting man?
sitting man.
Yeah.
I don't know, Fat Bison or something.
Yeah.
Sleepy boy, sleepy. I just love him
Here,
sleep.
can you present us with a photo of Russia John Russia? And
Oh,
see-
he's got a
Oh
strong
yeah, because I
one.
wish I didn't know now, because I bet you I would have fallen.
Yeah,
into the same
imagine
trap.
you haven't seen him.
This is
Right.
definite. I think Mandela effect, because to me, I would have said, I bet my wife and kids and house that he's a
Yeah,
Native
this is like a
American guy.
Mandela effect.
The full name for that's Nelson is Nelson Mandela effect. I fucked that. But yeah, I remember as a kid being excited about a Russia John Russia garment.
I literally have never heard that name.
But I
until
don't,
today.
I don't think I've ever gone anywhere and gone like this before of any other garment until I was wearing Russia John. And then I thought I was. Like,
That's why you've never had
like
a male fashion. What
a
is that
fashion
thing
week?
that like if people get like promo shots done, they have to be like fixing their cuffs?
Oh, that's
Oh,
a
You're
good
like
one.
you're wearing a t-shirt. Oh yeah, God, he is really Native American looking.
Maybe it's like with you know the way you mix certain colors and it gives you a different color. Maybe when you mix Chinese and Irish, you get Native American.
We should do that more often. He's a beautiful looking man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is he still alive?
Yeah.
Let's find out.
Brilliant.
Is he still on?
we get him
is
on
he
the
still
pod?
on the
Oh, he
pen?
would come on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe. I mean, what
To
accent?
be disrespected.
What accent's he working with? You know?
He would come on tea with me, tea with. You know?
Like I think if you're a Chinese Irish fashion designer, Russia John Russia is not the name I would expect like Tiernan Jong
Yeah.
or something, you know?
Tiernan Jong.
Yeah.
Wang, Padraig Wang or something. Padraig Wang's a tremendous name. Oh, Sheen Dong.
You could go the other way though. He could have. He could have a Chinese first name and an Irish, you know, so
Yeah.
like Zhu O'Halloran.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Wang O'Shaughnessy.
I
Fucking Mao McGee, you know. Like, although basically the only Chinese names I know are Communist Party leaders.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's-
I love the question that led us into this was you. It went so undetected. You going, guys, what age did you first get into fashion? When did you get into fashion?
I was big into fashion for a while. I think maybe what happened
child?
was people were like, he's not like he's in Duns.
Oh, okay, that's a flex. We're talking when you got into fashion, the way you unzipped that and presented that
show
plain
off
grey
this
t-shirt.
fucking Primark t-shirt.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, because that was the first time I'd gone from just wearing like a blue t-shirt into
Right.
like, my mum must have gone to me, that's Russia John. And I'm like, oh, fuck,
Yeah.
Russia John, Russia.
that-
I'm wearing it in the school.
But
like,
see, my mum one
uniform
time she
days
bought
and
me a navy tracksuit that had orange piping, and like you can't wear that when you're ginger. Like that is literally a magnet for buddies. Like, and she was like, I was 11, so we had the school disco, and you had to bring your own clothes. Of course, my mum packed my bag, and then I opened it up, and it was the fucking orange trim.
But hold on, how are you going to school disco with your clothes in a bag? Why aren't you dressed?
Because it was in
before
the
you get
afternoon
there?
of school, so it was like in the morning you had to. I went to a very
It was upper
posh
sec.
secondary school. Yeah, I was. Yeah.
I remember I used to like the only thing I wore as a kid was tracksuit bottoms and a football top up until I was about 15, and I remember for like a birthday or something having like 50 quid to go to Top Man when it was on Royal Avenue and buying my first ever adult pair of like jeans and a t-shirt, and I bought a pair of jeans and a yellow t-shirt with red trim, and it said Joe Palm's Beach Club, and it had like a palm tree logo type thing on it, and I remember
Palm Joe.
thinking this is unreal, and I wore it every day for about a week. And I remember, I don't know why it's coming into my head, I went to a jiu-jitsu class in Queen's Hall in Hollywood and got my head kicked in that outfit. Like everyone was wearing shorts
Because
and
you were wearing
t-shirts.
a Joe Palm's Beach
Well, I
Club?
don't know. I think it was a magnet for people being like, why is he, why is he dressed like this?
I had a phase like in my early 20s where I used to wear shirts all the time.
I remember when I
Yeah.
first met you, you started doing stand-up.
And I used to think the bigger the gig, the more fancy you had to dress. Like I did the Empire last week, and I've managed to dig out my first Empire set, which is so shameful and awful. But I obviously went, oh, it's a big gig, so I better wear a shirt and trousers. And it's just awful. It's an awful look. And like I already look older than what I am. I shouldn't dress like my dad.
Yeah.
You know, that's just a terrible.
But I think you go through that phase of wanting to be older, then you realise you are old, and you're like, oh, fuck this, let's just wear what's comfortable.
Here, by the way, my guests today are Dave Elliott and Alan Irwin.
Hello.
I meant to say, I got
Irwin,
it.
Alan Irwin. That's
I got Elliott, Dave Elliott, and Irwin, Alan Irwin. I was looking through TikTok today and I saw a lot of comment activity on our video, the clip from the last time we podded for, I think it was a live episode, where we were talking about missing our dead grannies, and we were laughing at the fact that we missed our dead grannies. The amount of shit under that, mainly directed at me, of people being like, adult men being like, that is not funny. Like, people don't like, I'm not laughing at anyone's dead grannies, bar yours, and my own.
Yeah.
You know?
But yeah, some people have a real sensitivity about their granny where they're like,
Yes.
oh, she made me biscuits and all.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, but it is funny to poke fun that she's
It's funny
dead.
because we know each other to laugh at our
oh, no.
grief.
I was cut.
Oh no, I miss my granny
He's
so bad.
He's talked to me
Oh.
every time I've seen him since then about how much he hates you now.
Yeah.
I was so hurt about that, but couldn't cry because of a reputation uphold. And
Yeah.
But-
And your granny would see you from hell, and
But you know what? That's the thing about it, though, isn't it? Like, I feel like I don't want to get into tribal politics because I'm bisexual, but I feel like it's a very orange thing to fight for the rights of your dead granny.
Yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, this conspiracy, you're sort of saying Protestant men are more.
There's two things that they won't have: a sea border and people slagging off their grannies.
They're dead grannies.
Even
you know what? I think there's something to this. I think Protestants love their grannies, Catholics love their mammies.
Yeah.
Like, because the most West Belfast thing you can do is living 2 doors down from your ma. That's like, everybody loves being near their parents.
Yes. Not next door.
No,
doors.
around the corner.
Yeah.
And they're like,
hey,
bloody mad.
case in point, Aaron Butler.
Yes.
Does he live just down the roof of his ma?
Round the corner.
There you go. So, that's a good enough sample size for me, a bigot.
But there were so many people like...
But you know what? It's my granny.
Yeah.
You know, and she was a bit of a dick.
My granny, my grief.
Yeah. Hashtag.
I liked my grannies, but like,
Yeah.
I didn't go, I don't love them anymore because Shane asked me if
Yeah,
I missed them.
I love my granny so much, and my granny that we were talking about that had died. It's funny that my friends would laugh. It's funny the amount of grief I have for that.
You know
like,
what
that's
it's all-
funny to
But
me.
it makes me think of Richard Herring used to tell a story. He had a housemate, and he had Richard Herring had come home from his granddad dying, and his mate was in the kitchen with him. He just put his hand on his shoulder and went, "I'm delighted your granddad's dead." And they totally broke the tension. And then about 3 months later, that guy's dad died. And when he came home, Richard was like in the kitchen, nearly holding it in. He went, "Oh, fuck off," and stuff. Like, he knew it was coming, But it's like, it just breaks the tension.
Yeah.
Like, I remember at my mum's funeral, my mate from school was sitting beside his then girlfriend, her sister. So they were both Catholics, and they started doing the Lord's Prayer. And obviously the prods have the wee extra bit. And I made eye contact with him, and he kept going during the Lord's Prayer, like, "Here, what do you say?" They're going to be confused. And I started laughing, like, in the pew at my mum's funeral. Like, but that's what you want. That's the Gallows humor is the best.
Yeah. And comedians are weird.
How
We're
often
weird.
would that be for other people at your mum's funeral if you're at the front just looking back laughing?
A giggly wee guy in a weird suit.
He was 100% right, because then they went, "But deliver us from evil," and those two went, "What the fuck's going on?"
But I just don't think people should be annoyed for like why are you so angry? Oh, don't you be doing that? Oh,
Yeah.
it's weird.
I would say that, but I'm quite grumpy. So
Yeah.
I this week have started believing in aliens. What do you think of that? Alan
mean,
doesn't
if-
like that at all.
sorry, I'm actually
This-
about to nudge the coaster back on with my foot and just give it a boot. Sorry.
I would like to know what was the trigger point to make you go, "There's aliens out there"? What was the moment that
I've
made
been
you think about
against,
it?
being serious, I've been against that idea forever.
Big Trump supporter.
What do you mean?
He's like, illegal aliens, send them back over the border.
Oh, right. No, I only started supporting him like 3 years ago. But yeah, I've always completely dismissed it. And I think anyone who thinks aliens are real, I have found weird. And now I've gone completely the opposite way. And if you don't believe in aliens, I think you're mad.
Well, I think, right, the universe is infinite, essentially. So it would be weird if there was no any kind of life. It doesn't necessarily mean like aliens.
We
but something-
green guys.
Something alive, but also.
Take me to your leader.
Who was that?
That's how they've worked out that if they talked, that's how they.
They worked that out, did they?
Yeah.
Did they? Who worked that out?
NASA.
All right, good lads.
Yeah.
But I also think
NASA, John NASA.
time, the universe has existed for so long that the likelihood of us being around at the same time as aliens is highly unlikely. Because
Right.
humans haven't been around that long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there might have been aliens 500,000 years ago, but they're all dead.
Well, I've like our grannies. I've
Do you know, grannies sometimes look a wee bit like an alien?
yes,
Yeah.
and that's
And
how
they
my
do
granny
talk like
spoke.
them. They're like,
You haven't
"Hello,
seen
love,
me in
come on
months."
I sit here. Do you know what used to kill me when I worked at Marxie's? We used to open at 8 o'clock on a Saturday, and all the wee women would be waiting at like 10 to 8 to get in.
Right.
And then they'd go, and then I go home and nobody comes near me. Like, because you're fucking back in the house at 9:30. Space your day out. What are you doing?
Just sitting looking out the window, bored.
Where's the quiches, love?
Having their lunch at 10:10. You know, that kind of vibe.
They're out discovering bodies and then going to Marxie's.
What a day. Yeah. So it's because I've got really into the pyramids at the minute. Big into it, and
I love a
just
Toblerone, like same thing, you know.
people have started saying humans couldn't have built that.
What do you mean? What do you mean, people? You keep saying
Yeah.
things like people. Is it Willie T? Like, who's saying it? It's definitely Connor Keys, isn't it?
Experts are saying that we would struggle to build that now.
Right.
So how did they build that? And some of these rocks that they were using were coming from 500 miles away, and people are going, okay, I'm
fucking
basing
hard
all this.
work.
Pardon?
It's called hard work. Graft.
You have to remember, they didn't have the 40-hour week, so
graft
you
is
just
the
had to keep
marathon
working.
training you're doing. But also, there's this idea that all these slaves are so strong, but they wouldn't have been on like a premium. Like they weren't getting meal plans, like they weren't getting meal prep.
Right.
They're probably eating gruel. So how are they going to be stronger?
But it's kind of the thing of you know, it's amazing what you can build if you just don't give a shit if they all die doing it.
But there's this, there's. You were the hardest team
Just
leader
ask
in Marks and
Apple, eh?
Spencer's. But there's this belief that that there was like a great flood and there was this civilization before us that were capable of building the pyramids and doing all that kind of stuff with this technology that we don't even have now, and we're the new guys.
And people are saying that.
But hold on.
Yeah.
People.
Why are these guys coming down going, bzz, bzz, hello, I want to build 2 pyramids. Bye-bye. And disappear. Why is it just the
But the
pyramids?
flood wiped them out.
Hold on, wait. So they're so advanced, but they can't fucking put a floodplain in. Like they can't. They're so advanced. That
Water's
that-
coming up to their necks.
It
will be fine.
Let's actually think about it. They're so advanced. They live in fucking Egypt and they've never heard of a sandbag. Like, come on. What are you talking about?
It wasn't sand then. It wasn't sand then.
But the pyramids
was
are
it?
made out of
An
sand.
oasis.
Fucking magic beans. What are we doing?
I know it was an oasis then. That
But
land.
then, you know
they
what
didn't
will
build it
blow
on
your
sand.
mind? Do you know glass is made from sand?
Yeah.
But
No. Here, tell me this. How the fuck do mirrors work? How do mirrors work? How do mirrors work?
people figured that out. So there's a guy.
Figure
one
it
day-
out, though.
But hold
Tell
on,
me how
this is
mirrors
what I'm
work.
saying. How's a guy going?
I don't need it. See, I don't know
But
how
what's
to
a
do
mirror
a fucking,
made of?
I don't know how to do brain surgery, but I know it's possible.
Yeah, but what's a mirror made of?
My point is right.
Glass.
No,
So-
yeah, but
Glass and light reflection.
but glass like in the window. How do you go from that to a mirror?
But glass is so old. There must have been those dudes just sitting around the desert being like, wonder if I could make that see-through. And another guy's going, I'm sure we could figure it out. So I'm pretty sure a couple of dudes would be like, here, we could put a few blocks on top of each other.
yeah, they had the wheel.
It's
you
not,
know what I mean?
but
Yeah.
it faces true north. There's all these like, it's not they're not just stuck up. They perfectly like follow certain lines. There's geometrical
But you see,
dimensions.
I think it's like the way I feel about like like mediums and stuff, right? I don't know how they do the
I'm a
things.
medium.
I'm trying to squeeze into one.
There you are.
Who?
But
Derek O'Core.
but it's like medium.
Who's also dead, like your granny.
Oh, I think you're gonna bum me, Alan.
What? Have you seen?
Granny, my granny.
Have you ever seen the thing of him where he's like,
Your granny looked like Derek O'Core.
Dick? Have you seen that
What?
Derek O'Core video where he's just someone comes over and he's like, Dick, I feel Dick, like that. And then, can you get that clip up? That's so funny. Oh, so great.
But like. I don't know how they do what they do, but it doesn't make me believe that they're actually talking to dead people.
Right, well,
So
let's
it's the
take it
same
back to
thing.
mirrors.
Egyptians, I don't know how they did it, but that doesn't make me think that there's something magical
But the
about it.
Egyptians were very like fancy and all, weren't they?
But also Egypt
Their
is
makeup
like
and all.
like Cleopatra is closer to now than she
Yeah,
was
yeah.
to the
To
early
the
Egyptian
Romans?
Empire.
Yeah.
So no. What? She was around at the time of the Romans.
Yeah.
But Egypt was
So,
like
no.
4,000 years long.
the fact with her
So-
is that she was alive closer to the invention of the iPhone than she was to building the pyramids.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, because
mad's
their
that?
empire lasted for thousands of years.
But how were they able to build that long
Have
ago?
you seen The Mummy, the film?
Yeah.
love that
Imhotep
film.
turned himself into like a giant ghost sandstorm, so they could do all that shit. They could
Yeah.
build a pyramid.
Draco Modulili was around with the building.
Yeah, I want
Yeah.
you.
I believe in aliens now.
But I mean, and that's fine.
But I didn't. But it's crazy that this is the week
of,
that I went.
of free speech is that you're entitled to be wrong. That's not, that's not.
But they're like.
But why does there have to be?
But this is like, it's like being agnostic, isn't it? when believing in God or not. I don't know enough about stuff, so I wouldn't say like I'm an atheist because I don't know.
No, I'm an
You
agnostic.
know? Yeah, and I'd be like, fair enough. And the same with like, if people
Does that
believe
mean you don't
stuff,
believe
walk
in
away.
God?
That means
don't
that
know.
you just can't decide it. So I lean towards it probably isn't, but there's no way for me to know that.
Yeah.
An atheist says, I know for a fact there's no God.
Oh, and
All right. Well,
speaking-
I'm.
You're an agnostic.
Diagnostic.
Because there's no, in the same way, the whole idea in religion about faith is that because you can't know.
Yeah.
So anybody who says, I know there's no God,
Yeah.
is talking out their arse, because how could you possibly know?
Yeah.
because
know?
you don't.
What if God came to you and went, "I'm not real"?
Then you go, but
That's,
you
would
told
know.
that's
me-
like a double
But
bluff
then
then.
you've just told me that you being there to tell me that means you are real God. You're having banter with me.
But he
now.
goes like this.
Oh, I need to call you up when you made a biblical mistake last night. And you're
As
at
in,
the
I
gig.
made a mistake to do with the Bible, or I made a
Yes.
mistake so bad it was biblical.
You made a mistake last night.
Because we did a
at the
gig in Macrofell together.
Yeah.
So are you saying I did something so bad that
let's go
Macrofell's
to
now been
shape
wiped out?
the core of
Yeah.
the whole world. No, you got some biblical facts wrong in your set. You were going around telling everyone Jesus was a carpenter.
No, his dad was a
Joseph was?
carpenter.
Jesus.
Bible doesn't say Jesus.
There was a carpenter in the front row, a young fella. I said, "Who's your favorite carpenter of all time?" He said, "I don't know." I said, "I think you'll find it's Jesus." So I was wrong about that.
Yeah, it's Joseph, man.
Well, as somebody who dropped out of a theology degree, so Jesus is a son
You
of
said
a
that like that's your catchphrase.
Yeah, I said that's that's my next show title. Someone who dropped out of a theology degree, live.
Alan Irwin.
Irwin Alan Irwin.
It's so hard to do. I fucked it so many times.
Yours is great. Todd Shane Todd works really well.
That's
'cause
great.
Todd can also be a first name. So can Elliott.
And it sounds like,
Look at Irwin.
yeah.
I suppose anything can be a first name. You can be called Dick Cheese. It doesn't matter. But
It'd be so unfortunate.
Oh, would
Dick Cheese Dick or Cheese Dick Cheese?
no, you'd be. Wait, hold on. You'd be Dick Cheese Dick. You'd be Dick Cheese Dick Cheese. But like, so Jesus is the son of a carpenter. So most people had their father's occupation,
Right.
but the Bible doesn't say Jesus was a carpenter.
What did you drop?
I dropped my water, but I caught it with my feet.
Right.
We're very fucking clumsy today. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Sorry, but I'm
So, by the way, you're such a dick because everybody was able to just go with it last
Yeah,
night.
but I
And they
can let
probably
that
knew
go.
and they probably went, that's
Yeah.
fine. But I now I'm looking back on a thing, I can picture your smug face at the back. Actually wrong.
I think you'll
Wrong.
find it was Joseph the father.
Asterisks
Jesus.
beside
By
it.
the way, I've never enjoyed anything more than when I saw the guy who was the underwater man. Please don't.
But this- So there was a guy I was talking to a few. I did this really original thing with stand up where I will ask people what their occupation is and then I'll talk about that.
That's fucking clever.
I know. I started it.
Might try that.
And I said that I was talking to a few guys in front row, and one of their dads was with them. And I went, "What do you do, mate?" And he said, "I'm a diver."
That guy's not their dad, is he? He's the same age as him.
No, way older.
He's a diver.
He's a diver, and I went, "What? Like for what?" And he goes, "Just whatever." And I went,
Whatever.
I said, "You gotta be specific if that's your job, or do you just go down every day and see what happens?" And he said, I said, "What was the last job you did?" He said, "I did an underwater inspection under the Stena line." And I don't know why.
That's what you'd find down there. Fucking hell.
Well-
Dead people in Rangers tops.
Well, I asked him. I said, "That's the name of your new show." Well, I said,
That's what I call the pub my dad drinks in.
I said, "How crazy to be doing an underwater inspection?" I said, "Do you still have to be notepad and pen?" And this will not be funny secondhand, but Dave, you will admit,
It was very
last
funny.
night it was hilarious when I pictured him underwater, like doing underwater inspection, and we just got really silly with it. And that gig last night was 10 out of 10.
It was tremendous.
That
Yeah,
was
it very good.
Terrace Hotel in Macrofelt. It was just, you know, when an audience just will just let you be silly.
There's nothing better than the stuff that happens, especially during crowd work, where it's like, this can't be recreated. I can't make material out of this. This is not a funny story, but it's
Exactly.
so ridiculous.
This will the idea that this is only for us tonight
Yeah.
in this room.
It's kind of like I remember seeing a clip of you one time getting the guy in the front row to do duck noises,
That's right.
and I was like, I love that, like
Yeah.
because you know in the room that's so ridiculous.
And then
that-
I was like, "You don't have to do this.
yeah,
Yeah,
Why did you do this?
yeah.
Just because I'm telling you to do it."
but that guy was you couldn't, like, that's the best job ever.
He was gutted last night because there was 2 breaks and he had to go on
But
last.
you know what?
Two breaks is tough.
You had a good time?
It was
Two
a
breaks
good
at my
time.
gig the night actually.
Because I had a bit of fun with him too. I was talking to the guys in the front row, just doing a wee bit that I had to talk to Joyner about, And I was like, which one's? I mean, you're the diver, the man that looks like an octopus because he had all these dreadlocks sticking out of his head, and it was funny. He
had too many dreadlocks for a man in Northern Ireland, which is one dreadlock. One is too many.
No, but then look at Duke's special. He had all the dreadlocks.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
No,
Does he not?
I heard that he cut them off. He gave them to people, and they attached them individually, so his hair's like.
What, like a wee
spreading
girl
all
in
over.
Alicante for the weekend, like just like a wee
Yeah,
braid.
but no, it grows into your when a dreadlock can. Grow
Oh, I
into
don't
your
like
head.
that. Do you know what I really don't like? You know when somebody has dreads and they put like a fucking Coke can
Yeah,
ring
you know what I
pull
don't
on
like? I don't like
Never
when
seen that.
people
That's like a
who
crusty thing.
I don't like when people who are not African or African
Who
American
are
or
not
of
what?
African descent have dreadlocks. It's cultural appropriation. I don't like it.
That's all right. I don't like it because
Says the man who dubbed
Like-
Russia John Russia Native American with more confidence than I've ever
There's
seen.
nothing more sickening to me than a boy from fucking Dungannon with dreadlocks. It's just
Yeah.
wrong.
But you know what? I challenge Russia John Russia to tell me to my face that he's not Native American. Come on the podcast and you tell me.
So he's
You know?
Chinese Irish.
Yeah, yeah.
So does that mean like he grew up in I don't know Fintona or something? What does it mean? Like where did he grow up? That's my question. Because I'm wondering, can he only speak Chinese? Because if he does, that's
You're
going to be a
getting
very
very
difficult
GB
podcast.
news.
What do you mean? No.
Where did he grow up? What do you mean he's Chinese? How does it? Well, I assume one parent's Chinese,
No,
one parent's
that's what
Irish.
I know that, but what I mean is, did his man and dad meet in, I don't know, Beijing, or did they meet in Dublin? That's what I'm asking.
Well, there's infinite
They made in the
possibilities there.
reservation, I think.
On a fucking hell, on a reservation.
Yeah, because he's Native American. Don't know about it.
Imagine this turns into a whole
Yeah.
thing, and then there's a Netflix documentary about it, where Russia John Russia just
No,
sits
that's
down
what
and he goes,
happened. An
"It's time to-"
Irishman and a Chinese woman were backpacking in America on the
Right.
reservation.
As people do.
Yeah, and they just got together.
And what you think them?
RJR.
What like she said? Oh no, yeah, you're definitely the dad, but it was actually somebody from the reservation. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that because there's a lot of like magic in the reservation and like.
What?
was
That he
into-
became a different race? What?
Correct.
I was
Yes.
into that history for a good while.
What?
Like
Native
Native
American
Americans and the formation of America and stuff.
Do you like so? If you could go
Dave,
back,
tell us more about the magic on the
the magic,
reservation.
yeah, because like like
Yeah, we
if-
really let that blow right
yeah,
by
yeah,
there,
we did.
didn't we?
Because if like if you know
You're right.
you will know this.
I'll know.
Shit will go down if you build a wee house on top of an Indian graveyard.
Well, every estate in Northern Ireland was built in an Indian graveyard. If you listen to anyone, White City out the road, everyone, all my cousins used to say, this was at a sleepover. We'll go, this is built in an Indian graveyard.
Because after the Irish Indian Wars, what?
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's how Russia John Russia was born.
Now you
Oh,
know.
where's the Chinese come into it then?
Look, they're just about. They're kicking around. They're dishing out grub.
Do you know about like why Native American people got and still get called Indians?
Because he thought he was in India.
Exactly.
Columbus, he thought he was in the West. He was trying to
Fuck,
sail
I thought I really had that up a sleeve.
He thought he,
I'd ready
he,
to
thought he had
impart
landed
some
in the
facts.
East Indies, but he was in the Caribbean or something.
Columbus is so like you, isn't he? Arriving in America and being like, we're in India.
Well, I feel like I hope he didn't arrive and go, no, the Chinese Irish people.
Yeah, see, like the idea of like being an explorer. I have such a short attention span. See when they go, they set off on a 7-mile journey. Fuck that.
7 miles.
Hold on.
No,
They
7
don't-
years. 7 years. I don't even know.
That's ready to go from here to Bangor. I'm fuck that. I know you like to be in bed early, but fuck me.
What an attention
Lisburn. I live in Lisburn now, so I get a gigs in Belfast. Fuck that. What am I, Columbus? What if I get scurvy on the way?
As a comedian, we've got to pick up an open mic. Comedian. Scurvy.
Here, speaking of scurvy, I did a gig the other week, and I
I'll finish that later.
oh, sorry, you carry on.
No, please have nothing. No. Scurvy O'Neill, go ahead.
I did a gig last week, and a guy was very offended by one of my bits.
Oh yeah.
And I don't really get that. Like, I don't really do jokes that
You
anybody.
said it was the N word.
Yeah, that was the punchline. Actually, it was awkward. Weirdly, everybody else but him loved it. But it was because I was talking about the Ulster American Folk Park in Oma,
Yes.
and he thought that I was making fun of the coffin ships, which is such a weird.
Had he just come from a journey
I
on?
did feel a wee bit like going. Even if I was making a joke about that, it was 180 years ago. You
Yeah.
didn't know anybody on it,
Yeah.
But and then a woman.
That's
in the
how my
audience told me-
granny dead.
To be fair, some grannies fucking hang on, don't they? But
Because they have long nails.
yeah, but you know the folk park
Yellow.
is like you're in the wee village, and then you get on a boat, and then you're in America, like colonial America. well, there was a girl in the audience who was like, I went there on a school trip, but it was too busy, so I had to do it backwards. You're like, that's a fucking grim life. You start in New York City and finish in Dungannon. Like, that is not...
Yeah.
It wasn't the Ulster American Folk Park. I was somewhere once and they had set up, it was like, where was this? We were at a wedding near Harvey's Point in Donegal, day after the wedding.
Is it the Famine Village?
That
Where it's
is-
like there's loads of murals of Martin McGuinness for no apparent reason.
But is that the place where like you drive around and it's like something from an American horror movie and they have like dolls
That's just Downings.
all around the place? I'm trying to think of it. It's like
No, it is. You're right. There's dolls everywhere, and then you go into a house and there's like a bookcase. It's like stuff hidden behind hidden doors in the walls. And
that's
stuff.
worse than the Scottish Willy Wonka experience.
Oh, it was.
This is the original one.
But it's really weird because it's like it's supposed to teach you about the history of the famine, and then there'll be like Martin McGuinness and then Liam Neeson on the wall. You're like,
Yeah.
were they there? What's going on?
Is there anything funnier than that Scottish Willy Wonka experience?
Oh, incredible! Like,
Do you know what this?
Yeah, but it's classic. It's classic.
There's something when you're looking at kids being terrified by the Scottish Willy Wonka experience. There's something so great in that it wasn't your kids there.
Yeah.
You can appreciate it because you're
see,
like,
I don't have kids, so I don't even have that worry. I'm just like,
Right.
yeah, fucking frighten them. Go on.
have you heard
Fuck
some
them
of the
up like I get
actors
fucked up.
talking about how they got the roles and that kind of thing? Oh, they were like, it was an AI script and all.
It was
and
the
like,
old woman as the Oompa Loompa was so funny. She just looked like she was on gear. Like it
Yeah.
was a lot of fun.
I just love that kind of like depression chic where you're like, this is what a sad person's dreams are like. You know?
But it's like, and we love the Grinch, those horror things about the Belfast Grinch guy.
Oh, but you see the Grinch, you know that Grinch that goes in and just fucks your house up?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
incredible. Like, and the kids screaming
There
and
was
He's
one
really
attacking
fucking
the
the
Grinch.
house up. Yeah.
There was one I saw at Christmas and it made me laugh a lot. It was just, it was in a community centre and they were doing some sort of giveaway. And then a Grinch comes in, picks up a Christmas
He
tree.
fucks the Christmas
fucks
tree
the
across the hall.
But it's just some fella having a pint, minding his own business, gets whacked with a
Yeah.
leg in the tree.
It nearly hits a child and
And
all,
you can
yeah.
be like, oh, but that's all the Grinch did. He just came in, fucked the tree and left. They're like, oh.
Now, I want the Grinch at the end when he's like, oh, this is nice, and he just has,
Yeah.
has his dinner with you. Imagine just having your dinner is just a Grinch.
Yeah.
Alan, are you a TikTok guy?
I have it. Well, I have it for the podcasts, and I would occasionally scroll, but I don't use it a huge amount.
I was going to say, what's on both your like For You pages at the moment? What do you get shown a lot of?
Do you know what I get a lot of? There's this, it's such a shit thing. There's this computer game, I don't even know what it is, right? Where you can, like, it's a car driving game, but it's like known for like being really realistic physics. And they literally just go, here's like 20 cars trying to clear this jump. And then just watch them all die. It's very satisfying. It's really a computer game. I'm not actually watching
wow.
people die in
Yeah,
car
yeah, yeah.
accidents. But I don't know what that's saying about me. It's all got fucked since. See, it used to be like my wife would have sent me loads of TikToks and I'd watch those and that'd help my algorithm. But obviously that's not happening anymore. So it's like, I'm like, is this what I actually like? Is this all like this and like old clips of Curb Your Enthusiasm? Are they the only things I like?
I get like freestyle, like Ronaldinho highlight clips.
I get a lot of Ali McCoy's telling stories.
Yep, I'll
know?
get like local people doing something mad.
Right?
You know, I'll
What do you
get-
mean, like what?
Here's the thing. I like anyone just going for something. When I see someone just going for something despite what the world's saying, I like that. But when that happens locally here, it becomes its own world and it becomes such a thing that you can't take your eye off, and it's a perfect storm of like voyeurism as a viewer because you can't take your eyes off it and you feel like you shouldn't be watching it. You know, you're like,
Is this like Pedo Hunters NI? Is that what we're talking
no, that's classic though. That was the. By the way, here's my impression of everyone who gets caught when they go. Here's the impression of everyone who. By the way, surely if they confront you with all these things, you go, "Nah, mate, not me. No, what the fuck." Here's my impression of everyone getting caught. To go, listen, with all these text conversations, your email address, was it you? Here's everyone. Don't think so. Hey, that's not a strong defence.
But have you seen that the pedo hunters now are having banter with the wee walkie-talkies?
No,
No, it's going about now.
I didn't know they were still going.
Yeah, so what they do, they have like walkie-talkies and they go like, right, this is a nonce detector, and they'll put the thing and go blow into that, and the guy will blow in it, and there'll be someone on the other end of the walkie-talkie go, nonce, and he's like, and the guys are looking going, what the fuck? And he's like, hold on, let me try it again. And he does it again, and then it'll do it
See,
again.
that had to have been invented by civilizations way before us. That's what I'm
about?
saying.
You think the aliens invented Pedo Hunters NI?
I think they invented nonce detectors.
Right, okay, yeah.
Absolutely.
You don't need a detector. You know the look.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I had an argument with my
socks.
mum about
Are
something.
you looking at my socks and going definite nonce? I'm like attracting children with bright colours. Yeah.
But I had an argument with my mum about somebody looking like a nonce the other day. She was like,
Was it her?
No, she goes to me.
Your mum does look a bit like a
Mum, you
doll,
look
to be
very
fair.
nancy
She
today.
goes, I don't like this guy. And I said, why? He looks like a paedophile. And I was like, what do you mean by that? And she goes, oh, he just does. And then I was like, looked at him. I was like, I don't think that's a stereotypical
You weren't getting that vibe?
look of a paedophile. No, I thought he looked more like a maverick.
Right.
You know?
You could be both.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's quite maverick to be a paedophile. You know what I mean? You really don't give a fuck about the rules. You know what I mean? I'm taking your badge, your gun, and your internet connection. You know what I mean?
But yeah, it was
A badge would be such a giveaway, though.
Imagine if Dirty Harry was called Dirty Harry because he was a pedo.
Dirty bastard Harry.
Dirty bastard Harry, dirty bastard.
I know what you're thinking in this chat room. Is she 5 or I don't
Is
know
he
the
5
quote.
or is
I don't
he
know the
6?
quote. Yeah, I don't know the quote well
Do
enough.
I feel lucky?
I went into that with so much confidence, realised I didn't know the quote. I haven't seen the
Our
film.
kids getting
What?
on the chat rooms.
What do you
Is
mean?
that weird?
Well, I was on chat rooms. I was like 14.
Yeah.
Or I thought you were like 5. I was like, fuck, what's that going on?
A Habbo Hotel or whatever, you know.
You know
that's-
what? This is just an observation. A lot of the guys who get caught aren't what you would call cute guys.
Now there's no
Well, that's why
hotties
they're
getting
pedos.
caught. Yeah.
You know, you never see a guy like they're always like guys hung around with overcoats that are slightly
Yeah, there's no
too big,
guy. There's no guy.
holding
You're
on
like, if he wasn't doing this, he'd be outside
Yeah.
Abercrombie and Fitch getting people in.
Well,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I feel like they mostly look like me if I had no self-respect. You know, that kind of like, like I've had a hum off me. You know, that
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah.
And
know.
like you've just been to buy a barnbrack and then you're gonna fuck a child. That's the look.
Yeah,
that they have.
you look like you enjoy a fruit loaf. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? That's
Yeah.
that kind of vibe. You know.
There was a time where you could enjoy a fruit loaf,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
like
Me
mid
and- when,
'90s.
when my granny was alive, she always had it in.
There you go.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what got her.
The fruit loaf. I would say so. That's what she called me. There he is.
Wee fruit loaf. More.
Everyone's busy with gigs at the minute. I love this. We were talking about the fact that we had a gig. We had a gig last night. I've got a gig tonight. Butler's got 2 gigs tonight. Willie T has 2 gigs tonight, and these are all separate gigs.
Yeah, there's a lot on at the
There's a lot
minute.
going on.
Do you know what's happening now, though? I feel like it's actually dropped off a wee bit in Belfast, but it's all the provincial towns.
Agreed.
And like everywhere has a gig now. I knew it used to be like everything was in Belfast. You had a couple in Derry, and then there was Daly's and Oma. Now everywhere has a gig.
Every village in town did 3 months. First month they threw everything. The bar
Yeah.
would throw everything at it with promo, put money behind it, get a great lineup. Second month they would not do any of that because they would go, well, this sells out every month, so we don't need to do that, and it would be a shit show. And they'd give it a go for the third month and do a cross between those two, somewhere in between, and then that would be it.
But that's it. People had no patience. Where it's like, as you'll know from like every gig that has lasted, the first year's always up and down.
Oh yeah.
Always. You know,
Look
you
at
usually have a
Lav-
couple
by
of
the
busy
way-
ones at the start, and then it dies a death
By the
and
way,
picks up.
Lavery's was up and down.
Oh,
for
Lavery's.
years,
I was at Lavery's many a time when there was like less than 10 people.
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
But that's just you power through.
but it just
you know?
kept going and going and going, and that's what happened. And it's difficult if you run the bar to
Oh, aye.
stick with something like that.
Well, that's always why comedy was always midweek, because they were
Yeah.
like, it's not a risk.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like they didn't want to give up a Friday or Saturday night when they
Yeah.
could fill the room, so that I mean, it was like if you're talking like 2011, 2012, a lot of sociopaths get up to talk about dicks. And,
Yeah.
You know, still do that, but it's just more
It's
glamorous. now.
2024 now.
Yeah.
You're gigging a lot at the minute, which is good.
Yeah, I've been trying to get the finger out. I feel like this is weird to say out loud. I'm newly single and I think I have so much free time. So you already knew that.
And I'm just trying to sell you out there, you know.
So anyway, hit me up if you like sad men. So with tiny cocks. So no, I just have a number for somebody. It's Dave's number. But yes,
What age are you on?
34. So
back on the scene at 34.
yeah, but also looking 44, which is the complication. You know.
Oh, you're looking. I thought you meant you're
No,
looking for 44
I
year
just
olds.
look 44.
And hopefully
you know?
that means women that are 44, and not you're looking for 44.
Well, if you notice that me eating a fruit loaf, you'll know. But
and are you gonna like? Are you gonna? you know, I imagine if people come back on the market, they go, I'm going to reinvent myself slightly and thinking about getting a leather jacket, something like that. Are you looking at anything?
Some John Russia gear.
Yeah, imagine you were head to toe in John Russia. You'd be fighting him off with a stick.
I don't even know what
Yours?
John Russia gear looks like. So
Very Native American.
Yeah,
very Native American.
A lot of feathers.
A lot of ponchos. A lot of like wolves howling at the moon and stuff.
Yeah. I could pull off a wolf pelt.
Oh, were.
Just drop the pelt. So how do
You
we go on
wanking
this?
off Wolfman from Gladiator?
He still wouldn't be happy.
Do you know what? I know, but I don't think I'd give a good hand job. That's what.
Only one way to find
That's
out.
my number one reason for not going gay. Is like I have a tiny mouth. I would be the worst blowjob you'll ever have in your life.
Well, if it's any way like you eat mash, I would concur. Little tiny mouth.
But hold on, you said it was sexy the way I ate mash.
No, I think it was there was something about it.
Right, so there'd be something about me,
The
my
wee tiny
blowjob.
mouth is like a butthole with a tongue. Surely it's better.
You've always said that.
Does your
You've always said
have
that.
teeth?
Well, there's only one way to find out.
But yeah,
Are you
so,
going to use apps?
I'll-
Hope you don't mind me asking. But
No,
I just find
I
it-
don't. I mean, if I was, certainly not anytime soon. But also, I don't know. Anybody I know who's on the apps is fucking grim. Like it's grim. The women that I know that are on the apps, it's grim. And I can't imagine it's probably worse for the men because at least when you used to have that thing of I'm getting too much attention, while they're like you know that thing. I remember whenever I had it years ago, and somebody said to me, "Oh, is it swipe right for yes? I don't know, whatever it is. You swipe for yes, you were interested. Just do that to everybody because then you get all your matches, and then you go." Oh, this is a fucking grim short list. Like, this is not, you know what I mean? I don't want to be like Willie or something who's like just always looking at it. I can't be bothered with that.
Willie has the. I will stick up for him here and say, Willie has this reputation as like Northern Ireland's #1 Tinder guy, and he's on it every day, and he's always just like. Bleh. Willie T does not really use the apps, but this is something that's really caught on.
Well,
and I find it fun.
So, do you remember he put up a screenshot that was like, they offered him the thing that's like £500 a month, like Tinder. He put it up. There's like some mental Tinder tier, like subscription, where it's £500 a month, and basically you'll be at the top of everybody's list, kind of thing. And then I read an article about that because I was like, that's fucking mental, like $6,000 a year for Tinder, and they only offered it to the top 1% of users. No, maybe he's taking a screenshot off somebody else's account. I don't want to say that.
Yeah.
But if he has, he's in the top 1% of Tinder users.
Yeah.
I really should have told him that before I told you.
Yeah, for sure. But we'll keep
Sorry,
it,
Willie, if you're listening.
we'll keep it to yourselves.
I know don't be listening to this. You're not doing very well.
But do you know what I think you should do? Can I offer some advice?
Go ahead. Yeah, why not?
If you are thinking about a reinvention, if you're like I want to just get it going, something that Dave and I
I don't take any part of this.
for not dating reasons, Dave, I think it's fair to say we're talking about fashion. You and I went through something around the same time where we discovered, and you can I think be testament to it right now. And when you discover, and I used to work there, but I think it's been different last few years. When you discover men's clothing in Marks and Spencer's,
Oh, here, you're preaching to the choir here.
you don't look back. You don't look back. It's a done deal. Like that's just what you wear.
Do you know what they do a nice thing of a nice shacket?
Oh,
Love a wee shacket
You're
from
talking to-
M&S.
Yeah.
the Shacket boys.
That's more Red Dead Redemption 2 when you're in the snow level. You know, that's.
But I have an actual jacket that I wore on the television, which you can
Oh
see.
yeah, I saw it was nice. Yeah, I have a nice jacket, you know. But yeah, we got on this because so I have a lot more free time, so I'm gigging a lot more.
Yeah.
And I mean it's fine, isn't it? I don't know how people do this all the time. Like, to be fair, I suppose
what?
I work full time as well. But like, you see, gigging like 5 or 6 nights a week,
Yeah.
and also working. And my job's not even that demanding.
That's what you put in, you get out.
So I'm putting very little into my work. Yeah. To be fair, my performance review would say the same thing.
Right.
But
Don't need to come in
I
and do
just
it,
I
Paul.
just was so. Do you want to do
Like,
my job?
I'll do your performance
You could
review.
you could do
I
my
imagine-
job. You know, easy. Like,
I'd love to come in and just you walk into the room.
the problem is I mainly work from home, so you just have to come and sit in the spare room in my dad's house. That's not really a great life. Like,
Oh God.
I would
you know,
love that.
it's temporary, but like you're not a top shagger in your dad's spare room. Like,
Or you become the top shot.
unless you pay somebody on OnlyFans to call you that. That's the only time.
yeah.
But is that what's the saying? It's like if you can't do something, you become the something, and it's like you become the beast.
So what, I'm going to become a big dick? What do you mean?
Yeah, like
Well-
I mean, do you? I think I've heard or seen that you're you're packing some heat.
I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm back in heat, but I'm not. I don't have a tiny dick, which is the vibe I give.
But you know what? I think a lot of people do like not trust the
Your Tinder
ability
bio.
of positive thinking. You know, if you want to think you've got a big piece, I
You see,
guarantee you'll
see
get
if I
bigger.
started doing positive thinking, I would be so unfunny. My only comedy chops are that everything fucks me up.
Well, what like you're living a sitcom, so like moving back into your dad's at the age of 34 during a breakup, like that's a sitcom.
Do you know what's actually really, speaking of top shaggers, my dad's never there because he stays with his girlfriend 7 nights a week. So like literally,
intense.
I have a free house because my dad is out with women,
Right.
and
Yeah.
I'm just in the house on my own. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
It would be better though if he was like multiple women. That'd be funny, wouldn't it?
it wouldn't be that funny, especially if he was bringing them home. Jesus Christ! But
Do you have any daughters? From the top of the stairs.
our
Your
sons,
dad.
it's been 6 months. You know?
Yeah. I've got caught up in like that. The conspiracy things coming at me on TikTok.
So what are some of the conspiracies? You were telling me about a conspiracy last night about Puff Daddy,
Yeah.
and like he's apparently getting up to some mischief.
Did he kill Tupac? Is that not what it is, or something like
Well,
that?
No.
we're talking about. By the way, did he?
Did he? Sorry,
And I think the
I don't
answer
know.
is,
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, he did.
Well,
Did he? It looks like it.
Yeah.
Not the Tupac thing. It's more that he's getting caught up in a lot of allegations at the minute, and we're talking about grooming, and I don't mean he's a barber.
You know the practice of.
What you're saying is he enjoys a fruit loaf.
Someone might refer to him as that when they hear these allegations.
Do you know the funny thing is, there's it seems to be so many of these things in like, American celebrity culture and all that kind of thing, and everyone knows about it, but like a bit like the Savile thing, but no one's gonna like blow the whistle about it because they're all too scared about their own positions. And then 50 Cent comes out and it's just like, oh, I don't give a fuck about anything. So he kind of, I think, started everyone talking.
He's
about
like the Hannibal Buress Cosby thing, the
yeah,
first one to like.
but
publicly say it.
we love him because the man has no filter and he doesn't care, and he seems
50
to,
Cent, I think you meant you loved Diddy because he's a groomer.
Listen, he's
You gotta admire
he's
the
one of
effort.
our favourites.
Yeah.
But
do you ever see like whenever allegations come out about people, you're like, oh, I can see that. Like Savile, you're like, he does have the look.
you feel like
you
we
know?
were being trolled with clues.
Yeah,
You know?
He does have
Yeah.
the look.
Yeah.
He's got the look.
But like when Puff Daddy or P Diddy or Diddy,
Did he just?
Diddy. Well,
Oh, they're the same guy. Sorry, I'm so white. I really, I always forget that.
But his group was called the Bad Boy Family. So like he's recruiting all these bad.
That's like
We
what
can't
you
be
call your
stopped now.
gang when
We're
you're
bad boy-
7.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can't be stopped now. We're bad boys for life.
yeah. So once you're bad, you're bad.
And he used to like on all the back of the Biggie songs, he would just whisper like, "Take that,
Yeah,
take that."
because that was his favorite boy band. But
Who's your favorite boy band?
probably my favorite boy band. Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a tough one.
The first one comes to mind for me because they were big when I was round about the right age. But Westlife, I think Westlife probably have about 15 banging songs.
I agree. I think I was more Boyzone.
You know what? I don't
You're,
think.
you're a couple of years older than me, aren't you?
See-
So it's just I think that's all the difference.
Do you know what? Do you know what is? If you ask me for my ultimate boy band song, "Love Me for a Reason" by Boyzone.
Although
Yeah.
mine would be "I Want It That Way."
Yeah.
Which is I'm not a really
Backstreet
big
Boys?
Backstreet, but Westlife as well because my wife is she's not dead. From Sligo,
Unlike your granny.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Westlife,
Wait till Dave's walk tomorrow morning.
Westlife,
Oh no.
fucking hell. Cut.
Well, who knows how?
But like Westlife
Man,
are
I'm
like
so
the
sorry.
Beatles in Sligo because 3 of them are from Sligo. You know what I mean? So
Right,
it's like
right.
everybody knows them personally.
Yeah.
You know.
Or has that link? Someone has that link.
There's always like she went to school with a girl was cousins with Mark. You know all that.
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like, do you remember everyone used to get off of Will I Am because he went to Thompson's one night? That was going around for a while.
Did he?
Or like, no, Will I
Well,
Am.
yeah.
But yeah, but I think that here's where I like Boyzone, I like Westlife, but this is where I think the problems come. They don't have enough like pop bangers. They're all a lot too ballady.
No.
No, but I think
no.
you like Westlife like when you're looking like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but I used to think that was
She's
Bendy
a
Eyes.
5'10" catsuit and Bambi eyes.
Bambi eyes.
Thought it was
Don't know
Bendy. I was like, you know, As
This big giant with googly eyes.
But I always thought what the point of that song was saying, like, it doesn't matter how they look, it's the personality, you know. Because they would stare but wouldn't believe that this girl, because he was hot and
She's 7'3".
Looks like
with
Andre
a
the
turn in her
Giant.
eyes,
B-O-N gammy leg.
scoliosis in the spine.
Westlife do have bangers, but I agree. I think they went too ballady toward the end for a long time.
But let's go to the BSB, the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
They can do a ballad. They can do a pop classic.
Everybody-
I'll be
Agreed.
playing games
Can I
with my
tell you
heart.
my favorite, a little bit off piste, my favorite Backstreet Boys song, "The Call."
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that
yeah.
is-
Brilliant
nice.
song.
But then I like a bit of NSYNC too. They get you going.
NSYNC, no, not
NSYNC
for
were
me.
great.
We had a funny moment in like.
By the way, can I just say my favorite NSYNC song? "This I Promise You."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I think
Do you do a lot of crying back in the day? Like you did a lot of sitting in your room.
And I will take you in my arms. I told you this. I think NSYNC on that album, which was like Bye Bye Bye, all the like that classic album with their puppets on the front. If you didn't know what a puppet was, I demonstrate for
That's
you.
more a marionette, but all
That
right.
was Shane from Westlife's girlfriend.
They had this song on the album, and I think they'd ran out of bangers.
Right.
So there was this one, and I only remember the first two lyrics of it, and it used to go like this: "Millennium, here it comes, and everyone's talking about Jerusalem." Don't remember any more of the lyrics, but I don't
They
know
actually
why.
meant the hymn Jerusalem. That they're singing around.
Yeah,
But I do you remember times in life and you're like, that's really funny?
yeah.
But we were in our student house and I lived with three other fellas who were all good mates, and one night we're having pints and one of my mates like, oh fuck, have you heard that new NSYNC song, Stick That On? And we were like, what's it? It was Gone, and we put it on and like we're all drinking and he was like, cracking tune. That was like hardly appropriate for
I don't remember that.
it was Gone. Girl, you gone. It's so like,
But hold on, you delivered that exactly like Dirty Pop.
yeah.
Dirty Pop, you went,
Yeah.
"Girl, you gone."
Baby girl, you're gone.
Right, that's
No?
totally
Yeah,
different.
but that's.
"Girl, you gone."
But he was like, put that on, and it's like the beat's like.
Oh yeah, that is a weird
Yeah.
pre-drinking.
Yeah.
Like
There's so many words that I could say, boom boom, to make you come home.
Was this guy you?
Ooh. Yeah, no.
Yeah. There was this weirdo we used to live
We're all
with.
sitting there with our beers, like, and it goes,
Yeah.
oh, it picks up, and didn't. It
Yeah,
just
yeah,
the
yeah.
chorus, but yeah, it is a classic, and it's all black and white, and they're all crying, looking out the windows, you know.
Yeah.
But I Will Never Stop. That's a good NSYNC song.
Thanks. What Diddy said.
But you know, but the back to the Diddy story. Whenever what I love about it is nowadays, instead of going, they redact the name of
Yeah.
people involved. They're like, there's some people who may or may not, and I think they're saying have had sex with Diddy, right? And they're like, it's a Philadelphia rapper, and then they just basically say it
kind
rhymes
of
with
sex with a rapper from
rhymes-
Philadelphia.
It rhymes with Seek Sill. And they're like, oh, that gives away.
Yeah.
And this other guy may or may not have just performed at the halftime show. at
This
the
guy
Super
just,
Bowl.
we can't say who this
Yeah.
is, but he just did the halftime show at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So that
But
narrows it down.
But that's like with the Vince McMahon stuff. They were like, they didn't name Brock Lesnar, but they went, somebody who was signed to WWE was a former UFC heavyweight champion. You're like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
literally just him.
Yeah.
There is no one
Yeah.
else.
Yeah. But I mean, it's nuts because you, so the allegations are that like so many people, so many of these R&B stars were groomed, and then if they were, then they got pushed in the industry.
Right.
So you just start to like, there's such a odd feeling about it as someone who grew up on all that music. You're going,
Oh yeah,
It's
they're
like-
all diddlers.
Quite literally, that's what he called the people.
I think
he
they were
groomed.
diddled. I think they were diddled.
Oh, they were
He was the
diddled?
diddly D, and I think it's so crazy just to, because like you're just enjoying it, like it's all like fun music, and then you're like, oh god.
But then again, it's like that thing, you know. It's when you're a coach and you push a young athlete too hard. Where does it, you know? So is Diddy? He's making this great music. Is the product worth the, you know?
Dave, you're in
The
going a
grooming
very
of underage
weird-
people? No, probably not.
Do you know, I have only done
Yeah, yeah,
I've only been in this room twice, and both times you said something awful.
yeah.
But all I'm saying is, would you have got
Hey.
Dirty Pop? Or because I don't think he
Hey,
groomed
are you
NSYNC,
going
so
to
yeah.
defend him in court?
No. Would you have got?
You're not a character witness. What's going
You're
on?
Johnny
Like,
Cochran.
Would you not? Would you get Pop Your Collar? I don't know. Would you get burned?
If the song's a hit, you must have quit. Sorry, it took me a long time to remember what he said there for a second.
But obviously, I'm joking.
So you're saying the great songs came out of that?
Yeah,
Right.
quite literally.
That's one of them.
Could you just do me a favor and just blur his face for this
Yeah,
whole thing?
yeah,
I don't want
yeah.
to associate him.
Yeah, we'll just say like a Sly Guy podcast host.
Yeah.
No, but I'm of course joking. I don't know what Diddy did, but I mean, what's to say? Like,
What did he do? Or did he
but
didn't do?
if Diddy, like, here's the thing: if Diddy and Usher are just having sex, that's sweet.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Were they groomed to have sex? You know what I mean? Rather than just like, oh, I fancy Diddy.
so allegedly when Usher was like 13 or 14, he lived with Diddy for a
Oh,
summer.
yes, you know. Oh, no,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then Michael did that as well, and Michael Jackson, and he didn't do anything apparently. He was just like playing games and all, PlayStation with him and stuff, or Super Nintendo.
What is it? What is this nonce defense? What's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it's
Let me tell you a thing about Savile, right?
Yeah.
no. Well, he's a proven sex offender.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson.
Jimmy sorted a lot of great trips for them kids.
He opened a few hospitals.
After American
Come on,
football.
you know what I mean?
But I was listening.
Would you have got the hospital open without it?
I was listening to a podcast today actually, and it was about how to like run and stuff. And they're like, there's nothing better to raise money for charity than a marathon run. And I was like, Savile did a lot of that, and that's a problem because Savile's a bad.
Well,
egg.
you now can't do that because after this conversation,
Yeah.
if you start running marathons, I'm like, he's hiding something.
Yeah.
Dave, what are you doing in May?
I'm doing a marathon in May. I'm doing a leg of the Belfast
Oh,
Marathon,
God.
dressed as Diddy.
Don't you know what I mean? That's one of those things where you get cancelled for the wrong reason. Like
Yeah.
they'll be like, oh, he's a racist, get rid of him. But that's not the real reason you should be
Davey,
cancelled.
how you find the marathon training, brother?
It's fine. I'm enjoying it. I'm feeling good.
So how much of it are you running?
A leg, which is what I'll have left.
Well,
by
what
the
is
time
a
I finish.
leg?
I don't know. It's like
4 miles, something like that.
4 miles, is it? Something like that.
5.2.
Mine's
I
5
think.
miles. Listen.
5 miles. That's,
What
yeah.
is 5 miles to a man? with
I'm
a
doing
strong
close to
mind?
5k because I haven't ran in about
You are
10
doing
years.
it?
Yeah, yeah. I'm only
Oh,
like
nice.
I'm still quite early on, but I'm like, I did a run yesterday. You know where you jump up the weeks the amount of continuous running, and every time the first run, I'm like, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And there's children over there who will laugh at me if I die.
And then I'll be walking my dog the next day.
and
there
I'll be
you'll
my
be.
dead body. So, by the theory, by the end of this, you can run half an hour solid. So
Oh, where?
So if I do that
You're like a
three
pervert
times
David
a week, that's the
Goggins.
most exercise I've done since it was about fucking P3.
Yeah.
You know?
But for me, it's always been a mind thing. So I think just to tell myself, do it. That's
Well,
the
I've
problem.
you get to pick your like motivational speaker. Apparently you can get Sarah Millican. I don't know why anybody want that, but no harm to her. But like I don't want Sarah Millican telling me that I'm great.
Who do you have?
I have Steve Cram, who was a runner, but he just talks too fucking much. He's
Right.
like, you know, and then sometimes you go to stop because he talks to you and you think he's about to say, that's your, 5 minutes up. But then he goes, you're a quarter of the way there. You're doing brilliantly. Come on. And you're like, what?
I went to go for a run yesterday and went maybe a fifth of a mile and then stopped and just walked home.
There's something about running.
I-
it looks like, oh, of course I can run. I can walk a long distance, so
Yeah.
I'm sure we run a quarter of that.
See if I'm in like a group, probably see most people, if I'm in a groove of it, I'm running maybe twice a week as well as doing like other sports and stuff and gym. But if I'm just if I'm just doing running and I'm doing 2-3 a week and I've built up a few, I'm brilliant. If I have to stop for a trip or we go on family holidays, you're not really
You
having
get out of
time
the
to
way.
go run. I'm so bad at that first run back at it, but I know in my head if I can do this one, it's I'm
Well, that's not me. I had about 2 weeks where I didn't go for one.
yeah.
And then I was bollocked, so I reran like the last one I'd done, if you know what I mean. So it's at the
Yeah,
end of the
yeah,
week,
yeah.
just did one more of those. But it's that sort of, you're sitting and going, should I go out? Should I go to that scary park beside my dad's house where people will probably get stabbed? Mm-hmm. You know, maybe actually sweet
That
release.
make you run faster.
Well, if anything, I'm like, that's an incentive, like sweet release. You know what I mean? Just let's get this over and done with.
Yeah.
What a dark note.
Yeah, but yeah,
I'm all right, just to be clear.
This is can I say something?
Uh-huh.
We've been best friends for 10 years more. You're very confident at the minute, and can I say something?
You sure?
You are very attractive at the minute.
Thank
I
you.
think you're a handsome
appreciate
guy.
that.
I'd say
I think you are even maybe the most handsome you've ever been.
Oh whoa, that's...
You have something about you. Your head looks fucking great. Your head looks great. The beard's back. Look at the way you're dressed.
Thank
the way
you.
you're carrying yourself. And you just...
I appreciate it.
Your pursuit of better for yourself at the minute is a very attractive quality.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I
Appreciate
think
that.
you're coming in hot.
It's,
Yeah.
I have this series where like everybody has like a year of their life where they're attractive. You know, even the ugliest person in the world will have a year of their life where you're like, they look really well.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still waiting for mine,
mean,
but
that's-
any day
that's-
now. But I'm like, I feel like Dave's in his hot guy era. you know?
But
Thank you.
But you being back at stand, you know, getting back in this. When I see someone being like, "Fuck, I'm just getting back into this, getting the work on," I love seeing that in someone. That makes me connect with someone. I'm like, yes, Alan Irwin.
But
Yes, Alan
it's
Irwin.
that thing of like, you know, like I said, I was knackered, but like I did the Sunflower on Sunday, had a great gig, and I was like, oh yeah, I actually really like this. This is why,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not just a sociopath. Like,
But stand-up's very much, it is like, I suppose, running, and the more you do, and the more you're in it, in the groove, and the more you're comfortable
it's like
up
a
there,
muscle.
it's just fun.
But I get so frustrated at, and I do that thing where I apply like my logic to other people, and if I see someone who's really good at stand up and then they walk away from it for a while, it like fucks me off for you, because I'm like, you know, we're not in anyone else's head, but like I just want to hold people in stand up and be like, just keep gigging
that's,
through
you just
whatever
gotta keep
this
plugging
is.
away. You know, it's because there's no end game. You know what I mean? There's no
Yeah.
like, oh, I've done all that, so now I just can sit back. It's like it's a grind. You just have to
Yeah,
keep going.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
But it's like it says, what's your motivation for doing it? And again, I think for a lot of things, people always have goals and targets, and they're like, this is what I want to achieve, whether it's through comedy or through fitness or whatever, and this is the target, but they don't go, what's the way to get there? And they don't see the achievement is getting there.
And like,
You know?
and speaking of I remember years ago, you and me wrote down. We went out for coffee or something, maybe like 10 years ago.
We're going to come up across like two losers here, aren't
We wrote down our like goals for the year,
we?
for like the next year, and I look back on it now, and it was the most silly stuff.
Real
that, like,
pedestrian stuff. You think like, of course you're going
No,
to.
no.
Oh, you
No,
mean
no,
like
no.
ridiculous
Oh, no, no.
stuff?
I mean ridiculous, right? Stuff that I haven't done now in
Right,
10
yeah.
years since. But I then very quick, like when people say like, say I'm doing a podcast or an interview and people go, oh, do you set goals and that kind of thing? When I say no, sometimes people don't believe that. I really don't, because first of all, it's one of the most unpredictable industries you can ever be in. But if you're enjoying it and working hard, I don't know. Some people probably do need goals. I don't need goals. I just need to trust that if I'm working hard and enjoying it, I will get
Yeah,
to do
no, I totally
good
get it.
things or something.
Well,
But like, I don't know. I just find the idea of goals don't work for me.
No, I like, so I booked a solo. I'm doing a solo show in the Sunflower on the 29th of September. So at the minute, that's like the next thing to work towards. But that's like just the start. That's like the start of
Yeah.
another bit. That's
Yeah.
not like you go, oh, I've done the show. You know, that's the start of the.
Are tickets for that out yet?
Not yet. No, they will be shortly. Hopefully, as soon as I get the poster finished.
What's that called? The Dead Man in the Rangers Club?
Yeah. Grow up.
Nice.
Right. What's
so-
it called? That's a bit of...
Oh,
A
wow.
top tier banter there. Grow up, grow. So that's 29th September. So, but that's like, then you come out of that with like loads of new material
Yep.
that you've worked on, and then that's just, you just go on to the next thing. It's not
Yep.
like you go, oh well, I've done the show now.
Yeah,
so I'll just
yeah.
not do anything for a year. You know.
Yep. Davey boy, what do you got coming up?
I'm doing 2 nights in the Lyric on the 10th
Love
and
that.
11th
Yeah, that's
of May.
You're lyric to me.
Yeah.
You're very lyric to me.
Thank
Banger.
you.
Shack it,
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it because the venue I've not played before. I was
brilliant.
sort of trying to figure out what to do because I love my role play show and I felt like I did it in the Wall Garden. That was the first run of it, and like I want to still do that. Now I want to do a new show sort of around the turn like summertime.
We have a
but
thing where like you do something, you feel like everyone's seen it now,
yeah,
and you're like, they haven't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's like I've done Lavery's probably 40 times, and nobody knows who I am every time, and I'm like, that's actually a gift. You think that's an
Yeah,
annoying,
yeah,
but you're
yeah.
like, oh yeah, you can just do your best stuff,
Yeah.
and people enjoy it, you know.
Last night, actually, in the terrace, a girl came up to me at the beginning and was like, "Oh, you're so hot, Denny." And
Did he?
no, she didn't really. She came up to me. She's
You're the
like,
white ditty.
"White Denny" sounds like something I would search on the internet.
Just one.
Just one white, and you
One
mean
giant one.
entirely white, like even the nipples white,
Like a snow
like
ditty.
porcelain white, like a geisha girl but a boob.
John Ross's daughter could be a geisha.
That's Japan.
Well,
Fuck's
I think
sake.
we figured out nobody knows where he's from, so he could be from Japan too. Who knows? He
Jesus
travels.
Christ.
I think we got to wrap this up.
But and I was going to
Would
say,
do for the sake of his life.
what was I saying there before I got caught off track?
Probably
Lyric.
lyric.
The lyric. No, this girl at the beginning of the gig, she's like, "Oh, really enjoyed you last week in Antrim," and it made me go, "Oh no, I'm
Definitely.
gonna have to change my entire set now."
Yes.
Fuck. So I'd made a few adjustments, and it was like, it was all right, but it made me panic and have to think on my feet and go, "Oh no,"
Yeah.
because you think everyone's seen everything.
Well, when you got the date and the poster in like a couple of months' time, we'll come back on, promote it
Great,
properly and
thank
all
you.
that sort of thing. Dave Elliott Sly Guy podcast. You've two podcasts.
Stupid Sexy podcast if you like The Simpsons, and The Worst There Was if you like wrestling.
Okay.
Can I also just say, sorry, I'm doing the lyric, but I have a few other dates as well, but they're just not sort of announced yet. Doing the courthouse in Antrim on the 18th.
You'll certainly be in a courthouse after some of the comments
So,
today.
hey guys, listen, I was only joking. It's silliness.
Guys, thank you very much for coming on. I hope everybody enjoyed this episode of Tea With Me podcast with Dave Elliott and Alan Irwin. I know I had a great time. 1, 2, 3. Good afternoon.
See the West Link.
That is the horniest thing I've ever heard.
Mervyn.
Bring daddy some of those chicken and waffles. Mr. Potter.
I feel gushy. This is unbelievable. This is absolute chaos.